So we're going to make a scene in Scratch. So I'm going to create a new project. And what should our scene be? Two characters. We need two characters. Let's take, let's go with the cat as one character, because that would be convenient. And, oh, let's do the random sprite. Let's get a random sprite out here. I'm going to choose, you can get any, you can upload pictures, you can do all sorts of things. Right now, just get a surprise sprite, apparently it's called nowadays. What is it going to be, a lightning bolt? Okay. All right, so our scene's coming together. So I guess the cat's going to come out, and it's going to get struck by lightning, and then it'll be the end of the scene. And then also for our backdrop, our stage, I'd like to have this at some location. So let's do the surprise stage. Are you ready for this? What's it going to be? Where are we? In a house. In a house. All right. Totally random, but fantastic. I'm not sure about the likelihood, but I'll tell you the story after I turn off YouTube. But I'll tell you about the story about my grandmother getting hit by lightning in her house. But first of all, how do we get the scene started? So what I imagine here is we're gonna start with an empty scene, just gonna see that whatever that is. Oh, it looks like actually a witch's cottage, I suppose. It's got a cauldron of purple liquid that's sort of bubbling. So that's cool. So maybe the cat is a practitioner of Wicca. It's gonna come out and maybe cast a spell, and it's gonna backfire and zap it. So first off, I'd like to have everything kind of out of the way and have everything sort of take their initial places. Imagine the beginning of a play, right? What does the director say at the beginning of a play? Places, everyone. Places. I don't know if they actually say that or not, but I imagine that in my mind. I don't do theater. But does that sound, anyone do theater? Does that sound familiar? Yeah? No, they don't say that?
You just go.
Go. But when the director says go, you get to your initial spots, right? You go straight there. Not places, everyone. I even put on the British accent and the little golf clap. But you know what? Whatever it is that the director says, you have to start the play in your initial position. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to make that happen with a script, like everything. So I'm going to say I want the cat to start over here on the edge of the screen. And I want the lightning bolt to be ready, waiting in the wings, ready to descend and zap the pants off this cat. So this is a good place, but you know what? You ever been to a play and you can see the actors shoes sticking out from the backstage? That kind of ruins things. Unfortunately, unlike an actor who can actually go backstage, they've created space for actors back there. You can't go too far off the stage with Scratch. So the way to make things go off stage is to hide them. You actually make sprites go completely invisible and unable to interact. So my initial script, I want to get them as far off as I can, and I'm going to build a little script for this. So my event, we'll say instead of places, everybody, it's going to be the green flag. So I'm going to use that trigger. And again, I'll share this code with you so you can see it, you can watch the video, so you don't feel like you have to recreate this right now. But if you'd like to, if you feel like that helps you pay attention, that's fine. And now I'll use the go-to. And notice that I've moved my cat there first, and then I make the script. And the reason is, I don't know why I zoomed so much. The reason is because the numbers auto-populate, and that just is convenient, so you don't have to try to figure all that information out. Next thing I'm going to do is hide. So hide is under looks, and we can go down to hide. Hide's great for having sprites that aren't in this scene, or aren't in the scene yet, being off the scene. And so if I press green flag, let's see if it works. Does the cat disappear? Sure does. And how do you know where it is? Well, if you click on it, do you see how it flashes? That little blue rectangle there is flashing. So if you ever have a sprite and you're like, where did it go? You can just click on the sprite in the sprite menu and it'll flash sort of a rectangle around the sprite. So good start. Lightning bolt, I want it similarly hidden. It's going to have a similar type of script going on here. If I switch over to that, I'm going to get the go-to. And again, it's auto-populated, the X and Y coordinates. So awesome. And we're going to make that hide as well. Okay, so I'm going to press the green flag, and great, everything's ready to go. By the way, these are called, I mean, I guess there's not like an official name, but these scripts that are the places, everybody, scripts, we're going to call those reset scripts. And you need to reset your animation. It's going to be part of your name animation. When you press green flag, it should just like reset itself and start again. You shouldn't have to drag all the sprites back to their initial places. Like you don't do that when you play a video game, right? Like when you start Minecraft, you don't have to like drag your character back to like the beginning and like reset their health and empty out their inventory and that kind of stuff, right? The program does that for you, and that actually is work that it has to do to make that happen. So our program, our animation should do that work as well. So we got our reset scripts in. Now the actual animation will happen. So you can decide how that's gonna be. I'm gonna have my cat just kind of walk out to the cauldron about here. So I'm gonna, just to do some planning, I'm gonna show it, and I like to just use these buttons here to see there's these two buttons. So I can just temporarily make it show again, and I can drag it and be like, I want it to go here. That looks pretty good, right, in front of the cauldron? So you can keep building on top of the reset script, but I think I'll build a separate script just to really highlight that that is an important thing to build into all your sprites. So I'll just build a separate script with the same trigger, and I'm going to make it show. So show is the opposite of hide. It makes it appear, and then I'm going to make it glide out to that current position. So it's already populated with those numbers. So if I press green flag, I expect you to see it like come out from the side. That seems a little bit like too fast. Like I don't want it to like just come right away. I want to have a moment where you can sort of appreciate where you are in the scene, and then have the cat come out. A lot of movies or TV shows call that the framing shot. Usually before the characters come out, you see what's going on, you see where the characters are, and then the scene like begins. Then people start talking. The framing shot's not essential for programming, but just a nice little thing to add in there. So before the cat comes out, I'm going to make it wait for just a moment, just maybe 1 second, and then I'll make the action happen. And under control, you can find the wait blocks. We used that sort of a little bit when we were doing our frame-based animation. So I'm going to put a wait just at the beginning of this script, and I'll zoom in there so you can see. So now the reset script will happen, and then in the meantime, our animation script will begin, but it'll take a second before it really happens. So you get a chance to appreciate our lovely cottage. So when I press the green flag, there's a bit of a pause, and then the cat comes out. And then you can start maybe making a quick scene where I'm going to make it cast a spell, then the lightning bolt will hit it, and then it's going to be like, yeah, and then it's going to like go off stage. That's it. Then scene, done. So to make it cast a spell, there's all sorts of things you could do with that. I'm just going to make it say like abracadabra or something along the lines. Is there appropriate electrical themed Harry Potter spell that anybody knows off the top of your heads? Like, what I don't know. I can't, like, is there one that someone says, like Lumos or something? No? Okay, well, we'll just go with abracadabra. So he's going to go over here, and the character is then going to say abracadabra. And again, maybe you don't want it to, not to be confused with what's the death spell in Harry Potter? Abracadabra, whatever. That. Maybe I should not use that one. I'm going to just be like, maybe I'll say a couple of them, like Lumos. And then he'll fail, and then Leviosa. Maybe he'll pronounce it wrong. And then he'll say something else. Leviosa. Pronounce the A extra, just as a reference to the Harry Potter movies. So that'll be good, and then there'll be some, waiting, maybe. We'll stick in a little bit of a wait. Under control. And we'll try it one more time. It'll maybe be all caps, Leviosa. Which, of course, is the levitation spell, but it's a cat, so don't judge it too harshly. It's doing its best. So what the heck does this script do? So, it's going to glide out. It's going to start saying spells, And, I'm not putting a lot of effort into that being great. I'm going to shorten the time, though. Oftentimes, the amount of time you need to read dialogue is pretty short. So let's see how it looks now. So press green flag. It all starts over from the beginning. Cat comes out. Lumos. Leviosa. 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 And then now it's time for our lightning bolt. So that's going to be a good start there. But notice that you could do some stuff in here. I won't do it. I won't steal your thunder. No pun intended, since lightning's about to happen. But, how could you make this script a little more, like inject some like doubt? You could probably put some weights in between. You could put some like, maybe the cat ponders for a second. Some extra dialogue to make it seem like the cat's a little bit more confused. But like kind of timing these things out. Any kind of long gap makes you feel, as the audience, makes you feel awkward or whatever, and that maybe translates what the character is feeling. So I won't get into it too much, but think about what you could do with weights and, injecting sort of self-commentary, what's going on. So now I got the lightning to come out. So if I make the lightning come out, the question is, how do I time it? So let's reset, and it's sitting, waiting up here. So how do I get it to like come out at the right time? Well, I can just make it wait. There's a few ways to do this, by the way. And if you're like, oh, you could use a broadcast, you could do a whole bunch of different things, you're right. You could do it a bunch of different ways. But I like to use the wait because look how nicely timed this is. Like I can just go count how long this is going to take. It's going to take 1 second at the beginning, another second to glide. My mouse is in the way, but then it's like basically 3 more seconds, so we're up to 5, 6, 7, 8. And at the end of that, that's when the cat stops saying Leviosa. So that's 8 seconds. So I can just make it wait 8 seconds, and then the lightning bolt can come down. And I could basically use a glide for that. So I'll have basically just wait 8 seconds. So that's under control. Wait 8, and then I'll make it glide. And I'll just make it take, I've got the wrong one. Oh yeah, I didn't heed my own advice. I'm going to make it show. I'm going to drag it down to about there, right between the eyes. Oh my. And then we'll, glide. There it is. It'll glide out. Probably the cat should do something at this point, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. You guys can imagine like switching costumes to some like, inverted colors and maybe going back and forth and some other things to indicate it's been zapped. And then maybe I'll make it go, maybe I can make it vanish or something. But I'll just leave it there for now. Then for the cat, let's make it say yow or something. Ayah. Maybe I'll go ayah. But it's got to take a second for it to get there. Oops, it's running the script. That's always kind of weird. So I'll give it maybe a second to respond to that. And then I'll make it glide back to the beginning again. So maybe make it go like, run away. All right. So then I'll put in a glide to go to this position. And 2 seconds seems awfully long to be screaming. Actually, that doesn't sound too bad for being hit by lightning. All right, so let's see what it looks like. So if I press green flag, it should see reset. It comes out, Lumos, Leviosa, Leviosa, Leviosa. Nothing happened. Oh, no. So, whoops, lightning bolt didn't happen. So I guess I forgot something. But this is how it goes. And I honestly did forget. I'm not trying to do this for like, whatever, educational purposes. But that'll happen. And you just got to test it as you go. You're going to see your name animation more times than you will want. You'll be pretty sick of your name animation by the time you're done. But that's what happens. I got to go put in a what? What do I got? What don't I have happening here? Thanks, Kieran.
So you show up, but also you're gliding through random positions.
Oh, what? Wait, but it randomly chose the right place. Wow. Wait, no, you're right. It did. Oh, no, this is the lightning bolt. So where did it go? Over there. Yeah. Totally agree with you. Thanks, Kieran. So, hey, Monday morning, watch out. So let's show it. Let's get it back to where we actually wanted it because, there you go. Hey, this is very, very thematic. Like the cat's making mistakes. I'm making mistakes. You're about to make some mistakes. Well, maybe not. Hopefully, you'll make a few, because if you're not making some, then you're probably not trying hard enough. So let's go and put that show in, so it actually shows up. And then, yeah, the glide should happen to these coordinates. I guess I just missed when I clicked and dragged it. Let's try again. Go green flag. They disappear. Cat's going to stay at scene. So do make it go pretty quick, or you're going to have to sit there and watch. If you have like a 10-minute animation, like good luck. Ah-ya! And then it runs away. There you go. And scene. There we go. So I think that's a great first place to start. I just chose random sprites, and I was inspired by the random sprites. One last thing I'll just show you. I didn't get a chance to show you a very nice little thing in Scratch. There are these effects, these visual effects that you will want to take advantage of. So for your visual effects, you can go into looks, and there are these change. It looks like this. It says change, and then the default is color effect, but you can choose all sorts of different effects inside of here. So there's color effect, whirl, fisheye, pixelate, mosaic, brightness, and there's ghost is the one I'm going to show you right now. You can make things, basically kind of go through a bunch of interesting graphic effects. And if you change, say, color effect by 5, or I guess it's 25, watch what happens to the lightning bolt. It changes color, and it'll just cycle through the colors of the rainbow. If you want to get rid of whatever you did, you can just do clear graphic effects, and we'll go back to the beginning. You can do pixelate, for example, and like have it turn into like pixels, and then undo that. There's all sorts of different things you can do with them, and combining them together is a great way to sort of come up with interesting effects. You'd be surprised what interesting things you can do with it. I'm going to use ghost effect right now, and oftentimes these things are best used in a loop, because you want it to sort of not just do one time, but kind of cycle through a bunch of them. So I'm going to change ghost effect by, say, 5, and I'm going to make it repeat 20 times. That'll bring us up to 100. And what ghost effect does is it makes something go transparent. So when a ghost effect is 0, then it is solid. But if you add to the ghost effect, then it's going to slowly turn, well, not slowly, but rapidly turn transparent. It's going to add 5 to the ghost effect. So when it's at 5, it'll be a little bit transparent, and it'll go to 10, and then 15, and then 20, and it will quickly become transparent. So if I run that, we'll see it's going to come out, and it'll then hit the cat, and then fade away, and that looks a little bit better than just a lightning bolt sitting there, like it was like an actual physical wooden lightning bolt that just kind of fell on his head, which is also painful. It's quite sharp, but quite the same. And if I start this again, you might be like, but the lightning bolt's gone. And the reason is because, well, it's now ghosted, and that's not part of our reset script. So when you do play with things, I guess actually it did come out. I must have pressed the stop. But it is a good idea to clear those as well, so I'll put clear graphics effects in my reset script to make sure that happens again. So hopefully that was helpful in sort of understanding things like using the wait to time things out. Having reset scripts will be really important for your animations that you create, and just sort of some basic ideas about how to set your scene. So we're not going to jump right into the name animation project yet. I'd love for you to just try to make a scene. And if you'd like to just choose 2 random sprites, or the cat and a random sprite to inspire yourself, like this isn't going to be like I'm judging you on quality of the scene. Basically, I just want to make you try out the timing of things and gliding of things, and sometimes you can get some funny things that come out of it. So I invite you to make a simple scene, and I'm only going to be marking this in terms of did you do it, yes or no. It doesn't have to be good. I just want you to give it a try to make it happen. And if you want to have some fun with it, then great. In about 20 minutes or so, I'll show you how you can do a scene change. Like if the cat ran to another room, how would you then switch it so it looked like he had gone out of this room and gone into another room? So maybe take roughly 20 minutes or so to make your scene, and hopefully that works out nicely. Okay, thanks everybody.